Well, good morning, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. This is something a bit different. This is landscape photography live, and this is something I've really wanted to try for some time now. Is just coming out to a scene, no B-roll, no editing, mistakes in what I'm saying. Obviously everything's going to happen, so this could go badly wrong. I don't know quite how it's going to turn out. Obviously you can hear there's a road just over to the right of me here, so you're going to have to ignore those sounds as much as possible. But what I'm actually doing today is I've come back to an area that I've photographed many times before, and obviously with the springtime coming and more of the foliage coming out and bluebells, wild garlic, all of those things, I wanted to get out and capture something again. So what I'm going to do today is kind of walk you through that shot. You might have seen it if you follow me on Instagram, that I've posted that shot that I took last year. And the reason I want to come back to this location is to kind of repeat on it and try and improve on it if I can, if that's possible at all, because I really do like the shot I took. But I find coming back to these locations that are well known to you really kind of helps you hone in on something that works. You already know the composition works, so it's just a case of really getting to grips with it and basically just repeating, rinse and repeat all the time, just to see if you can improve on it. So this is going to kind of be a bit of a it might turn out being a bit of a Blair Witch video, this, because I'm going to have to walk back and then move you around as we go, but hopefully it works out and it's just something a little different. So what I want to do is I'll come round there and I'm going to grab you now and show you exactly what I'm looking at. Now if I bring you down here and zoom you back out again, so my composition is going to be somewhere around there, like that, but more in a letterbox format. Now I wanted to get that low because I like the little sort of leading path that runs along just in here, and also the fact that when I get down low like this I can eliminate any sort of distractions. There's another tree behind that main tree there. In fact, if I just take you around there now, you'll see, if I walk you through the scene just along this little path so I don't disturb anything, you'll see just behind that tree there's another tree there. Now what I'm doing by getting further back that way is eliminating that as much as possible, because I want to hide that tree behind this main tree here. I really like this fern. Now as you can see, this time of year it's not really out to its best yet, and neither are the flowers. So it's just a case of experimenting with what I have for the time being, getting it all set up right, and then when I move back like this, as you can see as I move back now, that tree has now disappeared behind that other tree, and it's given me more separation by doing that. The other character of the whole scene is, for me, is very much this character here. And you can see, if you look closely, if I don't know whether it'll show up if I move you closer to the scene. If I walk across this path here, you'll just see that, maybe a little closer you can't see it as well, but it's got two eyes and it's got a face, and that really sort of gives a sort of Lord of the Rings fantasy impression to me anyway. So I really like that. So the further you come back, I think that stands out even more. The other part of the image I really like is this dead branch down here that's lying on the floor covered in moss, and the same goes for this one over here as well, because you've got all these bluebells growing up round it, and I think they really make it. So I'm just going to try and get you back to the back of the camera. Sorry this is all shaky and all over the place. But if I show you my scene, if I can get you in here and you can actually see what I'm looking at. There you go. So that's the scene I've got set up there with the letterbox format. Now obviously it's really bright, it's really harsh at the minute, and it's best shot this kind of later in the day. It's more of a sunset location, because what I want to happen is that sun needs to move across behind where I'm filming at the minute, right behind me. If I can just try and get a better look on the focus on this, there we go, you'll see better. And yeah, once that light starts to dip behind there, you do get a lot warmer light, which works so much better, I think. So that's the scene I've got set up. As you can see, my settings at the minute, which really don't matter too much, because obviously that's going to change as the day goes on. But f16, I'm at an 80th of a second at ISO 640. The reason for that is because I've got a bit of wind around here today. There's quite a breeze blowing through and hitting that foliage and the bluebells itself. Get you back in focus. Hitting the foliage and the bluebells themselves there. So I'm actually wanting a faster shutter speed, which is kind of double my focal length, and I'm around about 40 mil at the minute. So I'm going for around about an 80th of a second, somewhere around there. So let's pop you back on the stand here. There we go. So yeah, it's very much going to be a case of just kind of waiting for this light to happen. The only thing we're doing videos like this is I'm going to really struggle to be able to show you the images, and the only way I can really work out to do it is to post them almost in the community section of YouTube. Or if I can do something with this video is kind of put them on the end, just so you can see what I've been working with. But I'm not totally sure it's going to work in a way that I can really improve on the conditions I got last time, because obviously what I'm noticing a lot more today is, I don't know, I think what's happening is the blooms are a lot later this year. Everything's a lot later because it's colder. So the bluebells aren't quite out to the full. The foliage isn't out as much as I would like, because you'll notice, just seeing the back of the camera there and actually seeing what I'm seeing now, is there's a lot of sky in the scene. And last time I photographed this, there was a lot more foliage, a lot more leaves on the trees. You can just see these ones here. If I walk out towards them now, these are just starting to come out. The branches, the leaves are just starting to come out on these beech trees, and they were a lot fuller last time. So I think it'll make all the difference if I can actually come back to this location in maybe a week's time, something like that, and kind of repeat the same shot again. I think it's really important that I can get more of the canopy cover in there, because it kind of pulls the eye away from the distracting elements of the sky back there, and it kind of softens everything else as well, and you get the light that you get coming through the canopy is a lot softer. And especially at the latter part of the day, like I was explaining just before there, when you get that light that's just dipping down and you get that warm light and it's coming through the canopy, it really makes such a difference to this overall scene and lifts it so much better. So you'll probably find that as well, is you might find a location that works really well for these sort of wildflowers and everything, but what you really want to focus on is getting them in the best light and the best conditions. So coming back to these locations, and especially if they're somewhere close, you can come to a location, see what it's like, and if it's not quite at its best, it's not a million miles away for you to kind of come back to when it's actually better. But what I'm going to do is, I think after today is I'm going to take a couple of shots now, reference shots, get myself lined up where I want to be so I know where to come to next time. I've got this post down here, I'll just show you now before I carry on. So where my camera is, there's actually a metal post there. You see that? Now what I'm using that for, as hideous as it is basically what I want to do is use that as a reference marker. Just let me get this camera back on the stand here. There we go. Is use that as a reference marker so I know where my position was with the camera to get the sort of best angle. So when I actually return in a few days' time, it's set. I know where to come to. I don't want the tripod holes exactly, but I kind of want it roughly set in the same position so that I can make best use of the overall composition. And I know, looking at that image that I took last year, the composition that I got was as near as I can pretty much get it. So the only thing that I'm going to do better is to get better light in there and hopefully better conditions. If I can get it early morning, I was thinking, but the problem with early morning is that the sun is going to be behind the trees over that way, and it'd be more backlit, so it'd be a completely different image. Whereas what I really want to do is get more of that warm light on the trees and on the bluebells themselves. So to do that, I want that light behind. So it's going to have to be evening, and that's not really going to be able to get mist from that. That's the only downsides, because the mist usually happens, if I'm going to get any at all, any sort of haze or anything like that, it's going to be in the morning, which is unfortunate, but it's kind of what I've got to work with. The only thing that I might get is, because the River Esk is literally right beside me, so I've got that road that I was telling you about, and then the River Esk is down to the left here. Maybe if the conditions start to warm up and I'm getting more of those conditions that make mist, then maybe we might get some fog and mist lifts up off that river and kind of helps with atmosphere back here in the evening time. So something gonna have to work with. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Not my usual sort of thing, but I thought it would be something different. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video soon. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye bye.